It's about the prisoners in Valikada prison and the Mahara prison of the prison department of government of Sri Lanka engaging in a pass on to death campaign to get some fair treatment to them in the wake of President Gotabaya giving a pardon, especially to the former LTT cadres who were languishing in prisons for more than 3 decades without any charges being directed or prosecuted against them by the Attorney General's Department, and also specifically Domingo Silva's release from the prison. So I think this incident had made the other prisoners who are sentenced to death or subjected to life imprisonment and who had been languishing in prisons in terrible, pathetic conditions for years to come up and then seek a solution because I think they are emotionally moved by these situations. So we can see that the prisoners are in the prison today because they are unable to control their emotions, like their basic human emotions like rage, extreme anger, or extreme happiness or joyfulness, or extreme surprise, extreme excitement, extreme emotional love. So these human emotions and as emotions together, such extreme emotions like the rage, which is extreme anger, and extreme surprise, extreme excitement, and extreme emotional love, etc., together with the behaviors, some rigorous behaviors supported by the extreme emotions to match. There will be like a rigorous behavior, spontaneous reaction based behavior had resulted in them getting uncontrolled in themselves and engaging in criminal activities. So now, because soon after the presidential pardons were given to the these two categories, like Mr. Domingo Silva and LTT former political and terrorist prisoners, these other prisoners got emotionally moved by this. So what I think the best solution to this problem is that as we have seen when it comes to the LTT prisoners who had been held without any charges for about more than 3 decades in the prisons in government of Sri Lanka, they had the political backing from Geneva, United Nations Human Rights Commission, and US, which helped them to get out of the prisons. So probably they may seek overseas employment. So, but in case of Domingo Silva, it's his mother who supported by directing a large amount of funds to the president to get his release from the prison. So now, especially when we analyze Domingo Silva's situation, which is applicable to the remaining life imprisoned prisoners and prisoners under death sentence in government prison departments. Prisons, I think for them also the situation is the same, because now Domingo Silva, he was very highly emotionally driven behavior within a very short period due to such a extremely emotionally driven, extremely spontaneous, very fast moving behavior resulted into criminal activities. So now I think Domingo Silva, once undergone 5 years imprisonment and know the suffering himself, and also his mother, how much she had to part herself in cash to get his release. These two circumstances would prevent Domingo Silva from again engaging in such extreme human emotional and emotional driven, rigorous, fast, attitude based behavior. So these two things could be the factor that help the existing life in prison prisoners and death sentenced prisoners to seek their release, because for them also, according to their family income level, if a certain little bit larger amount beyond their abilities financially, if suggested to be paid, and also since they have been now languishing in the prisons for years, I think those financially their families parting with a large amount to the government to seek their release, and also they have been subjected to years inside these pathetic condition prisons of the government of Sri Lanka, would make sure that they would not go into such extreme emotional driven behavior, which is such a extreme emotional attitude driven behavior again. So I think this way government can stipulate those prisoners families with a certain suggested a little bit a higher amount than their income ability, as an indication to the families to give an understanding that if this person, whoever comes out of the prison, commit those crimes again due to the family lack of support, the same family would have to uh, part with such a large amount of money. So family would look after him or these prisoners once they return, and also the individually the prisoner knows the conditions in the prison, so they would be supported within the family for a proper behavior in the society.